Thank you. Good seeing you all. Our Wednesday, we're back. Dr. V, let me tell you, I was surprised he's here. He told me forget it. He had a podcast today. He's big time. I had to yank him. It's like pulling on a rope. He's come on, Dr. V. Get over here. Get over here. So we got him off this podcast, and he's down here joining us. Dr. V, it was so good seeing you Sunday. Great food, great fun. We had a lot of fun. We played some cards. We did that. We just ran around like all the husbands and wives. We just had a great time. Easy drive up and back. We had an absolutely tremendous time. So good to see you. And we love seeing, thank you, thumbs up. We love seeing you guys too when you were watching us on Sunday. Okay, let's get down to where the action is. What's our title? I'm trying to remember. I think our title is, what's our title, Dr. V?
Donald Trump smashes the U.S. economy and national security. Why?
Spartacus is happening, baby. Why? Why? He's destroying the economy. Now, let's talk about this, okay? Donald Trump and the economy. Donald Trump and the economy. Donald Trump and the economy. Bottom line is simple. We have been saying since Christmas when he got elected, it's over. Now, it's not going to be a recession. Go back and look. We kept saying stagflation, 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 stagflation. That's what's now, you're starting to hear this from all these guys out there. Said I didn't think it could be a recession. I wasn't sure, but our economy was so good. People didn't really, it wasn't great, but it was good. And we kind of had inflation not under control, but it wasn't going crazy at that point. Right. And we're saying we're living pretty good. And I said, hey, now what's going to happen is just going to blow everything off because we're losing everything. We're losing it all. Think about what's happened. Think about what has happened here. And he's just smashed. It's like he's so mad he doesn't care. First of all, remember something. The guy's 78 years old. He's 78 years old. I think there's something in the oldness. It just kind of slows down. I notice it with me. It just kind of, but I think with him it's slow. And I think it's speeding up. Something ain't working right. But the problem is this. He came in and he started whacking tariffs. And we said in December, ball game over, started seeing sales that were out there that kept going up in price for sale, but kept going up because they were betting on these tariffs. And we said in December and in January that the mere thought of the tariffs are enough to get people to move, that markets move in anticipation. Markets don't move after, unless there's a black swan. They move in anticipation. And they've been looking at this. I'm not talking the stock market. I'm just talking the markets, the economy, the U.S. economy, okay? Now, all of a sudden, we said then, and we talked about it. I said, hey, Dr. V, I'm hearing private employers letting people off. I'm hearing that. Remember, we talked about that because everybody was saying, well, it's going to be federal. I said, no. It's going to be federal, but as soon as the Fed started doing it and slicing, you're giving permission to these other companies to start slicing. And then all of a sudden, it's going to happen. It hasn't happened yet. This full employment that we've had starts slowing down big time because now there are not going to be new jobs because all these companies aren't now hiring anymore. These companies who said they were going to get these animal spirits, they were going to get these animal spirits. Well, now they're not animaling the spirits anymore. They're sitting there going, wow, what's happening? I don't know. What's Trump doing? They're calling him up. What are you doing? What are you doing, 78-year-old man? And he's sitting there going, I'm being tough. I'm beating on everybody because I am tough. Let me show you how good I am. Right on, Dr. V. Tell Spartacus that. Let me tell you how good I am. I'm Donald Trump because I sit here and I say, this is what we do. Now, did you see what happened in Greenland? The guy, the Greenland part, the party that won in Greenland, bye-bye, Donald Trump. They don't want to be a part of us. No. Nobody wants to be a part of us. Canada doesn't want to be a part of us. If they were to be Democrat. The problem they got, but you look at this and you go, all he wants to do is smash people and hit them with tariffs that we pay for. So when you're doing it in the supply lines, which we have finally gotten straightened out since COVID, There's supplies. You can get whatever you want, buy whatever you want, even though the inflation was there, but you could do all that. Now it's going to break down the supply lines because you don't have supply lines anymore. If you're saying you're going to pay 25% more or 40% more for something, that ends that part of the supply line. The steel fabricators in America, the steel guys, have been raising steel prices because the tariffs are out there. The tariffs are out there. Ben, good to see you, baby. The tariffs are out there. Okay, we believe doctors should be American citizens. Been very strong about that for the longest time. So the tariffs are out there. So while the tariffs are out there, the prices are going up, and they know if you're going to do it domestically, you say, "Wow, if I can meet the price." So if something comes from Europe and it's $50 more, I can raise it $50 here in America because I can meet that price, and I don't have to. I'm making more money, but we're the consumer. You and I are paying this. That's what's crazy about it. So you look at it, and he's going, well, this is their whole argument. I listened to him. Number one, they're all smiling. Oh, it's a little thing. Originally, it was, don't worry, when we get into office, we're taking care of everything. Everything's bad. We're going to make it better. Then they come in, they go, well, it's going to be a little thing. Now we're kind of hearing about recession. Now all the big boys are talking about recession and going through all this. And hey, Grayson, and the bottom line is he's killing the economy because all these people are losing jobs. And when you lose a job, you don't go to your restaurant in your neighborhood and buy lunch, Dr. V. You don't go down to the hardware store and buy something extra. You don't go down to the service department of your car dealer and get service done. You want to hold on to your bread. You're not sure because if you see your neighbor lose their job, you may lose your job. And then what happens to health care? Where do we go with health care at that point? So because these people are not going to have it, they sure can't afford, to maintain whatever it is. What is it? Oh, I keep forgetting what it's called when you leave, but it's like a year you get or whatever, but it's so expensive. It's outrageous. Okay, so you have to go on the Obamacare stuff, and that's expensive now. So you're getting hurt with all this. It's really bad. It's really bad. And we're not talking stock market. We're just talk to people out there. Talk to them. See how they feel. They're getting nervous. Why they get nervous this fast? Because things were doing well. Kevin, we're talking
What's
about
your
it.
proof?
Thank you for coming on, Kevin. Thank you for coming on. This is what we're showing, Kevin. There are layoffs everywhere, lots of places in private companies, not just federal companies. People aren't going to be making income. People are not going to be able to get a job. They then start losing their health insurance. You're starting to see now that all these farmers who put up money and that was going to be met by the government, guaranteed, these farmers are now stuck with these loans because the government has pulled their guarantees on this. We love Canada, David. One won't be nice because Trump can't be nice to anybody. But they pulled it. So now these farmers are up there begging them, please take care of us, please take care of us. You got the same issue with cars. You're going to have things that come in that have been imported that go into an American car, which is going to make it more expensive. All this is coming down. You're seeing it. Watch it slowly. On Delta, let's talk about Delta the other day. Delta Airlines, Kevin. It's a good question. Delta Airlines just changed their whole quarterly outlook, saying they're going to make half of what they thought they were going to make this quarter. They just announced it yesterday. American Airlines is slicing. They're all slicing now because they're seeing that consumer demand is starting, at least short term, is starting to slow down. That's killing the economy because they're going, I'm afraid to spend money where before they were. When you spend money, the money courses throughout the economy, right, Dr. V? But if it doesn't and everybody's just holding on to it, the economy doesn't grow. It just gets bad. And then this is the best part. You hear them on TV with the smiles. Everything's good. Don't worry about it. Even if it's a recession, it doesn't matter because we're going to bring all these manufacturers back to America. And they'll hire all these people. But then they don't say that's going to take 3-4 years. So during all this time and this transition, Who's going to take care of all these people that you have now put out of business, that this economy you're going to be smacking? It's just happening, and the inflation's going to be there. It's just starting to work its way in. Let me see. Come on, David. I don't know. Yeah, we were part of the crown, but we got rid of the crown. And Kevin, our solution is, hey, Mike, our solution is we're talking about the problems. I like Kevin. We're talking about the problems that President Trump is bringing in the Republican Party. The Republican Party runs the House, the Senate, and the presidency. There is no other solution. The solution is to disagree with President Trump and those people and say, you're doing it wrong. This is what we think you should be doing. But nobody's going to do what people who aren't in the MAGA group want to do. And that's what's going on. Wait till they raise the debt limit $4 trillion. And they say this. I love, because you know this is going to come, Dr. V. We're going to change the accounting.
Right.
They're going to change. They said it's because the accounting is wrong. Even though the accounting's been done, whatever, I think with the gross national product or something, I could be totally wrong. I'm no economist, but it go in and all of a sudden it doesn't belong in there. So we're going to take it out. And then we're going to go, $4 trillion. It doesn't really happen. It's all budgeted. It's all work. Yeah, monkey, believe that. Believe that. Just like he sits there and he goes, he loves crypto, doesn't he? He put out his own crypto coins, putting all that money in his pocket. Kevin, I don't understand who's hallucinating. I don't understand. We're not doing hallucinations, but we're happy you're here. This is not a hallucination channel. If we were hallucinating, Trump wouldn't be president. But we're not hallucinating. We understand he's president of the United States, and we're dealing with him, and we say right on, and here we go. Go ahead, Dr. B.
Mark, what if this is, four-dimensional chess here, that he's creating a crisis on purpose, and then he's going to come in and save the day. He's putting other countries on notice that they're going to have to deal with this. And then he'll back off, avert a recession. And in the meantime, it'll keep inflation down because the economy was overheated to begin with. So he's calming it down.
Are you back? I lost you. You back, Dr. V? You froze for a second. Are you there? Can we hear you, Dr. V? Dr. V, can't hear you. So I'll take it. I can't. Whoop, he's gone. He'll be back. I think he got a phone call. Don't worry about it. Thank you guys on the shows on Wednesday. He's coming back. This is the question, I think. There he is. I think he got a phone call, right, Dr. V? Nope, he's having a problem again. He just likes to have bad Wi-Fi.
I'll be back if I can. I got a phone call.
That's what I told him. You had a phone call. There he was. So your question was, what was your question? Oh, I lost him. He had to go off for the phone call. He's gone. So I think his question is, when you sit there, where are we going? What do you do with an economy that's, you see, what Trump's doing, let me get back to square one, is he's taking the growth that we had in the economy and he's crushing that growth by taking employment out. So if people don't have income, they can't pay. And then where are you going to get the money to be able to help these people if you're going to have to pay for unemployment or whatever for a while? Where's the health care going to come from? What happens if it starts coming from Medicaid? What happens when they start playing with the accounting in the budget and it starts putting the $4 trillion in? What happens? I mean, look what else is going on. You got Musk putting in another $100 million to help Trump. And Trump is destroying the rule of law here in Maryland, in America. Kevin, reform is a hallucination. Reform of what? You're right, Terry. Trump is not that smart. There is no fourth dimensional chess here. There's nothing like that, okay? He's just throwing things out. He's 78 years old, and he's just moaning, and he's groaning. He's putting money in his pocket to just sit down and say, hey, this is what you do. You like us? Hey, Mike, you like us? And it just goes on. Reform is a hallucination. Kevin, there's reform. You always need some type of reform, but what's your definition of reform? Is it taking everything and flushing it down the toilet so you have to start over again? I mean, look what he's doing to the courts. Think about what he's doing to the courts. Donald Trump has just determined that he doesn't like a law firm. And because he doesn't like that law firm, if clients want to use that law firm, they can't now if they have any federal work. Did you know that? Think about that. Throwing crap, no monkey. Yeah, well, that's what you're right. That's what Trump's doing. But think about this is so massive with the law because remember, it started with Eric Adams. With Eric Adams in New York. Eric Adams in New York is sitting there and he's like he said, I'll make you a deal. I can help with ICE if you kind of let my case go away. I mean, who knows for sure, but it kind of seems like or smells like it. Remember, we're an opinion show here. So Eric Adams has that happen. But now we go a step further, and not only are they firing everybody in these different districts, which is, I suppose, the way he wants to do things, but now they're sitting there and saying, you can't use law firms that represented people that Trump didn't like. So you want to hire John Doe lawyer down the street, Perry Mason down the street. Trump says you can't. How did he do that? He said these lawyers, this law firm, COIS, I think something, Preston Coy, something like that, says you can't go into any federal buildings. You can't do any federal work. You lose all your security clearances just across the board. Not that the law firm did anything wrong. It's just that he didn't like who the law firm represented. Think about that. Think about what Donald Trump just did with this, okay? Who should be disbarred? Who should be disbarred? I don't understand. Good, they do. Oh, it's all you do think about is money. I'm not sure you want to be disbarred, Cube 12. I'll come back to you when you let me know. So you sit there and you go, why is the president of the United States determining what lawyers can do and who they can represent? Donald Trump has done that and just thrown it out the door. So think about it. It's going all around this way. It started with Eric Adams, so that it's now at the point when you start looking at how they want to go with this. It's not going to be a matter of truth and evidence. Truth, justice, and the American way, as Superman used to say. It's going to have nothing to do, maybe a little bit to be able to show. It'll be who you know and what you know, and what politician you're going to be giving money to, so that politician can make sure that he or she can go to that judge or get somebody who knows the judge and say, this defendant should be kind of taken care of because he or she can help me, and that really works out, and that really leads to justice. That's justice. That ain't Lady Justice holding the scales. That's the scales going that way. So you take that, and now you take it a step further. This is massive stuff, people. This is the real. You got to understand that. Look, I'm just an American citizen. That's all I am. Please go onto my channel. Check it out. I've been talking about this stuff for years. Please subscribe and put in comments. I love your comments. But the problem you've got here is he is going in and ripping apart the legal system. And that's all we've got left to protect us because Congress can't. Congress can't. They all roll over. You listen to Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham will say something his whole life until Donald Trump, I mean, this is no joke. You listen to him until Donald Trump disagrees with him and he goes, well, Donald Trump says it must be right. He takes everything he believes and he throws it out the door. That's what these people are doing. It almost smells like a cult type situation. Or it's just, they just want to win because they're politicians and politicians don't like to lose. So they just want to make their money and do what it takes to be able to stay in there. But what are they doing here? So you sit here and you look at it, you hear any of them jumping up and down going, Mr. President, why are you denying this law firm the right to practice law? Who are you to make that determination? You're just president of the United States. You're not dictator. You're not super leader. You're president of the United States, but he does it, which then forces the law firm to get another law firm to go out and take it and represent them. And meanwhile, they're losing clients. So he just tries to put them out of business that way. Is this how a president is supposed to act? Do you think he's really thinking rationally when he does things like this? He's not thinking rationally when he does things like this. He's not thinking rationally at all. He's 78, he's angry, and he's just going after people. And he's going after them for no reason. And I never see anybody come back to me. I always ask them. I've been doing it. And on the one earlier with Eric Adams, now I'm asking on this. I don't understand. Why do people think this is okay? Why are people just rolling over? You see, the issue isn't should the Democrats do this or should the Democrats do that. They look like wimps, by the way, on the State of the Union or whatever it was Trump had. What you got to do is you got to call them out on stuff like that and get mad and call them out, because the more you call them out, the more people hear it. But if all you're going to do is cuss out Trump and all you're going to do is just try to run with everything, you're going to go nowhere. I mean, like, look at this debt negotiation issue they have going for the budget. What do you have, 2 days? Otherwise, the government shuts down. Think about what's happened. It's really, I don't like the budget. I think it's really going to hurt a lot of people. But if you don't pass a budget, then Trump runs the country, because there won't be any money for the courts and there won't be any money for anybody else. They'll run out after a few weeks. And you don't think he'll have the House say, oh, we're not passing any budget. We're not going to do anything. It'll take us a while. And then Trump can just run everything by fiat. So the Democrats who are like doing this big thing and they're going to try to look tough. You ain't looking tough. You got to be smart. You go, okay, you go on with this and you keep coming. You got to start chopping away. It just takes a while, but you got to be talking like this, and you got to talk to people you don't agree with and explain to them why this is wrong and say to them, where's the problem? Where's the problem? I still don't see the Cub 12 who should be disbarred. I don't understand. So here we are having our legal system pulled down and smashed. And you're not really going to be able to get that great of a chance to, I think right now you can, but I don't know how long it's going to be able to last where you think you can get a fair shake. You've got that coming down. You have the economy coming down. The economy is getting smacked because of these tariffs and everything, but it's more than that. There's a bigger issue that we've been yelling about here since December. And really, if you go into Just an American Citizen and look at all my videos that talked about the end of the American century, which is what we're talking about here, which is exactly where it is, okay? Because now what's happened is we have no friends. And I raised this, and people go, Mark, Friends. I said, this isn't TV, Friends. I didn't watch the show, by the way. I wasn't into it. I was more a Fred Sanford or Archie Bunker, because I'm older for all that stuff, or George Jefferson type. Either way. So but you sit here and you go, so where are we going with this? And where do we take it to the next level? And why are we just sitting here and allowing him to do this and not say anything? And that's why I think you got to start getting on TV. You start advertising. You know, Musk is already putting on advertisements for Trump, saying, look how great Trump is. Why aren't the Democrats putting advertisements up there saying, this is wrong, we deal with this as if you're campaigning now? That's how you start doing it. You got to build from the floor up. And at the same time, you go to a bar where everybody is a Ravens fan or whatever fan for your football or baseball team, and you watch them and you cheer with them and you have a beer with them and you talk to them. And suddenly people find out that we're all very much the same in so many ways. We're all Americans. Look, when I named this channel like 11 years ago and called it Just an American Citizen, that's how I looked at it, because I'm just an American citizen. But what I always said on there was how much I love this country and how this country's got so much going for it and how many people are just good people. And you have to wake up and sit there and go, I'm an American. I see this stuff, but that which is wrong doesn't matter who I voted for. That which is wrong, I can't stand up for, and I have to come back and say it's wrong. And that's where we're having a problem, because the other side can't say it, whichever side you're on. The other side can't say it anymore. So when you're in that position, you're in a really bad position, and you're putting the country and really your party and others all about it in that all together in that position. It's really not good. But we have to look at this and understand it. So now it's got to be all together. The economy isn't just the tariffs. The economy is the loss of friendship. Because why do countries want to trade with us? A country thinks they make a deal with us and it's going to be broken a year later or 2 years later. That's what we have here between Mexico, Canada, and the United States with a deal made by President Trump. If a country knows that's going to happen, they don't want to make a deal with you. The only deal they're going to make is a deal that gets banged on them to have to make. The purely transactional deal that makes them walk away and go, oh, if I got to give you this, I'm going to give you this. You know, if comments are coming on, I'm sorry, I just don't see them. If I got to give you this, I got to give you this. But it's not because you want to do it because you're a friend. It's not because you want to do it to help out the other person. It's not because of that. It's because it's a numbers game. And we sit here and we go, yeah, other countries had higher tariffs than we did, and those countries made some money on us. It happened, but let me ask you, when you turn around and look, we had issues. We don't have enough jobs for a lot of our workers got hurt, but still we had great employment numbers. When you turn around and look at this, we were still the strongest country in the world. People use our dollar. That's the standard currency until crypto takes it over. That was the standard currency. People traded in dollars. They traded with us. They knew they could trade with us. They knew they could depend on us. Now you make a trade, it's just going to go right up the back, your backside when you're not looking. So when you break down friendships, think about it. It's a whole crumbling. It's like Humpty Dumpty. You've lost your friends. So that's breaking out. You're putting tariffs up and taking them from friends to really adversaries. I don't call them enemies, but adversaries. You're putting that up and then forcing your people, your American people who you were sworn to protect, who you were sworn to take care of, and you were forcing them to pay more money for stuff coming in while at the same time hurting your friends. When if you didn't hurt your friends, you could get stuff a lot cheaper and you can work with them on a lot of other things. It doesn't work. Somebody says to me today, wow, Marco Rubio did a great job with Ukraine. I'm sitting there going, man, he got a ceasefire. Number one, there is no ceasefire. Number two, what was the great job? They call this guy in who was supposedly our ally, a country that was invaded and destroyed by Putin, destroyed by that thug. That thug did all that. And we call him and said, you better or else. And then we cut off their bullets. We cut off their intelligence. And we sat there and we went, too bad. You either agree with what we tell you or else. So they come in, they go, thank you, thank you, thank you. We agree with what you tell us. And people say to me, Marco Rubio is great. What's great about that? Because let's see this is what the question is going to be there. Are we going to be tough on Putin? Are we going to be tough on Russia? Or is Trump just going to roll over and just let them do what they want to do because he makes it obvious that all he cares about is his personal thing because Zelensky couldn't give him dirt on Biden, because he doesn't like the Ukrainians, because he loves Russia. So you put all this together. You fracture your friends. You get rid of your friends. You screw them on your trade agreements you make with them. You have those friends become dependent on you over 70 years, and then you say to them, oh, who cares what we've done the last 70 years? You're out the door. It's like defense. Yeah, NATO, the European countries should put more money into their defense. But for 70 years, we didn't want them to have nuclear weapons. Think about this. No nuclear weapons in Europe. We didn't want them to have nuclear weapons. We said, you are protected by our nuclear weapons. I'm sorry if there are comments coming. I just don't see it. You're protected by our nuclear weapons. Okay. And when you see that, and then they go, we're not going to build nuclear weapons. And we say, you don't need big standing armies. You need armies that follow what we tell you to do in your defense. That way we make sure Germany doesn't break up and Germany doesn't attack France and France doesn't attack Germany and everybody starts becoming friendly and becomes our friends again after World War II. And that's what we did. And it got bigger and bigger. And their whole defense was based on our defense. So now we say to them, like we did to the Ukrainians, we're pooling our defense leadership. Think about this, guys, whether you like Trump or not. We're saying to our NATO allies, we're pooling the defense that you have focused for the last 70 years on for your defense, which was us leading. And now the Europeans have to take the steps forward to now make their own army, to really get serious, to decide where leadership is, how they're going to move, and what they're going to do, how, what, when, where, and whatever. They're going to have to learn all that because they are no longer dependent on the United States, because the United States said you're out the door. So we did that to them. We did that to them. We're doing it to Canada. Think what we're doing to Canada. We're taking Canada and we're just taking it apart. Our friends, what are we hitting them for? 25% for what? For what? It doesn't make sense. All it is somebody trying to prove that he is the toughest guy on the block. But you ain't the toughest guy on the block if you can't take on the other tough guy who ain't that tough, which is Vladimir Putin. Xi may be, and I don't even know if he is. I don't think the Chinese economy is in that kind of shape. There ain't nothing we can do for Taiwan now. I'll tell you this. If I'm Taiwan, I've written it off. Now, all those of you who have followed Just an American Citizen, please go to Just an American Citizen, our channel here, subscribe, and give us thumbs up. I appreciate it. You'll see that we've been saying, I've always believed that Taiwan's really not our thing, that we had to be there, but we couldn't stop China. And nobody's going to be able to stop China. And now Xi sees there's nothing we're going to do unless Trump gets a little bit tough with Putin, which I don't see happening so far. So who knows if that's going to happen. So as the American century breaks up, we are no longer on the top dog getting all the benefits that flow to us. All those benefits are gone overnight. That's what Donald Trump has done to the United States. And it's massive. And that's one of the major reasons why our economy's getting smashed, because we are breaking up everything that we had that made us the leader, that made us have the money, that made us be in a position where we could be successful, where generally we made a lot of mistakes, but where there could be peace. And in the Western Hemisphere, the groups in the Western group live pretty well. Okay, now we're going to have to decide who we're going to be friends with here, who we're going to be friends with there. And the answer is going to be we're not friends with anybody. Who are we going to make a deal with here? Who are we going to make a deal with there? So you have that imploding. Meanwhile, you have the legal system imploding as we reviewed it. So you're losing your legal system in many ways. It's not gone yet, but it's starting to be chipped away. You're losing your full international support. You're losing your own economy because you're putting tariffs in and firing people and just throwing them out the door and putting into a position where other big corporations in America are starting to do the same thing. And now it's a ball that just starts rolling, and it moves slowly. It doesn't happen overnight, but it moves slowly. And not only that, people were used to living pretty good here. Everybody was complaining, but our economy was pretty good. The problem was inflation was a problem, but the Fed seemed to didn't have it totally under control, but they were starting to bring it under control. Now what's going to happen is people are going to start saying, man, it doesn't feel as good as it did. It doesn't feel as good as it did because our economy isn't as good, because we got problems. And I hope that when people go overseas this summer, that people don't start throwing the finger at them and start booing them and saying, American, go home. They'll take the money, but then they'll say, go home, American. It doesn't matter. And that's what they'll say. We don't care about your money. We just don't want you. Friends? I don't know. Let's see. So I had made a couple other notes here as we were going in. That's a quick one quickly, and then we'll go to the measles. Trump says he's going to buy a Tesla. Did you see Trump with all those Teslas on the White House lawn? Look, how can you feel sorry for Elon Musk? Elon Musk is the richest guy in the world. Elon Musk doesn't care about his stockholders. I don't think he does. That's why I wouldn't be a stockholder. That's just my opinion. You have to look at the stock prices these days and see if his time is invested or whatever it is. But he sure wanted the president to help him out. So he has the president take all these Teslas and put them on the White House lawn. You think that Tesla truck looks that good? puts it on the White House lawn and says, I'm going to buy a Tesla. No, he isn't. He's getting rid of electric cars. See, he's not going to buy a Tesla. Why would he buy a Tesla? And he's a celebrity endorser. He wouldn't pay anything. He would just get in the car and ride off. We wouldn't know to charge it up, and then he'd leave it there and get another car and gas. So to listen to these guys, and now here they are, they're taking everything apart in the economy, and they're getting bummed that people are pushing back. So now we see it's like almost like it's the Tea Party again. You all remember the Tea Party years ago, which was really where the MAGA is now, but where they came from. But they would go to these meetings with the congressmen and everything, and boo and hiss and yell. That's starting to happen now. That's slowly starting to happen now as it goes. Okay. And as that starts going and as that starts happening, people are now they're saying we're not going to talk to our people we represent. Why should we talk to people we represent? We don't like what we hear. But as the heat starts building, they're going to have to watch out and things are going to start happening. It's going to be really interesting with this. I'm telling you, if Elon Musk is that bummed that he needs his Tesla sold by the president of the United States, there must be something going on he's having an issue with, because the president put him in front of Modi, who is the president or the prime minister, whatever, of India, to see if he can help get some business there. I assume nobody saw what Musk said or heard what Musk said, but you have to assume he brought that up. He puts him in front of all these people and lets it go. You saw that Doge staffer who was up there in the Treasury building doing her dresses, showing her dresses off to everybody, was on TikTok or Instagram while she was being paid by us. I assume we had to pay Doge back. And he's showing her dresses. Look how good I look while she's taking people's personal information or helping do that. And it's out there firing people. But look what I'm doing. I'm working real hard. I'm an influencer. I look good in dress, don't I? Yeah, tremendous. Next thing. This measles thing is more than just a measles thing. And I think you got to sit back. It's the same way that we're going to talk about with national security. Because you've ripped so many things out of national security, and now we're going to talk about health the same way in the HHS and Kennedy and all that, RFK Jr. Yeah, RFK Jr., if everybody eats good, they live better. That's really genius, isn't it? Think about it. You got the guy telling you eat better, you live better. Okay, thanks. What a genius move. You got RFK Jr. kind of going back and forth, kind of playing around with this, with talking about vaccines and measles. But the problem you're going to start having is this. Information isn't really getting out like it used to. So you're hearing measles are getting around more and more. Who knows what else is getting out there? Who knows what other diseases are being put out? That are being spread. Who knows what's going on with the avian flu? Have you heard much about it recently, except seeing that the eggs are going up in price? You don't see anything with that. That just stays there. It doesn't say much because they don't want anybody, the government. It's like you talk about black ops. Trump's black ops. They don't want this kind of information to get out to anybody. It's like crazy. So now it's keeping it all quiet. So if you see a little bit here about measles or that or something getting bigger here or there, keep your eyes open, because there's no way that they're telling us the truth. They are hiding it like they've never hidden it before, because they don't want people to know that we are going back, or we have gone back. I keep bringing it up. We are in de-evolution, D-E-V-O, Devo. Are we not men? We are Devo. And that's where Trump has taken us back. De-evolution, not evolution forward, de-evolution back, where we don't believe in medicine, where we don't believe that the tariffs destroy economies, where we don't believe in our history, where the Depression came about because there were Smoot-Hawley tariffs all over the place. Smoot-Hawley, and it helped crush everything. And we have bank runs, and people didn't have jobs. But hey, none of that matters, because the whole idea is we're going to make more money, because in 4 years, our industrialists will have all this cash they've made through taxes and all this money that came back to America and built all these factories. Yeah, believe it. Well, maybe we'll have the serfs ready to start working then. All these people now for the next couple of years will lose jobs, lose benefits, lose health insurance, lose all this stuff that's going to be out because of all these promises of stuff that's going to come down 3-4 years down the line. And all I can say is we've been calling it, we're saying it, and please remember it. Put it out there. Don't let people, I mean, things will get quiet for a while, things will get a little better, and then boom, we'll get smacked again because this thing just slowly, it's like a wave. It just works its way through the economy and it gets worse and worse and worse. And people go, this can't be true. It's going to be better tomorrow. And then it's worse. Oh, it'll be better tomorrow. And it just keeps going because they are looking literally to destroy the economy, to start over, to crush, not destroy, to crush the economy, to start over again. Because under the, what is it, 2025, whatever program, they say it's all government, and this is how you get rid of the government and just let people's animals, spirits run with everything. Well, right now, the animals are killing all the people who work in America. Right now, those animals are smashing Americans with inflation. Those animals are going to be smashing American economy. Those animals that come in, destroy the American, is really, oh, thousands of CIA agents fired. FBI guys out the door. You think we have national security? You think anybody's looking out for you or me? You think it's even possible? You're letting all these guys off. What, AI is going to bring it all in? Who are you kidding? We're in a really bad situation here, so that stuff's going to be long-term bad with the national security. Our economy is short-term and medium-term bad, and when you watch it all rolling, and then overall, we've lost all of our friends. We've lost everything. We have lost what made America great. I think we'll get it back one day. But if we're not talking about it now and we don't keep it going, I don't care if there's only one person here or 1,000 people. We're going to keep saying it, keep talking about it. And I want you to call me on it because if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And please bring your friends, but I'm not. Please bring your friends in, whether you like us or not. Let them see us. Please share us with everybody. We're on every Sunday at 11 a.m. We got lots of people there, lots of fun, lots of movement on the comments. I've enjoyed this here. Our Wednesdays is our midweek. We bring things up to date. We start going from there. I'm posting almost every day. Please look for my posts. I'll see your comments. Once again, we're on Sundays at 11, going to 11 a.m. Eastern. Here, 5 a.m., 5 p.m. Eastern. I blew it on the post every Wednesday. And please subscribe to Just an American Citizen. Let us know what you think. Throw the comments in. Look at our posts. I love y'all, and I really do appreciate you all coming on. Whether you agree or not, this is still the greatest country in the world. See you Sunday, and that's the way it is, period.